Alright everybody, welcome back to Tales of the Forgotten, Dragon's Dogma 2. This is gonna be an install guide, and I will also kind of show you how to update after we finish the install guide. Excuse my throat, I might be sick a little bit. It is what it is. I'm also gonna be drinking some coffee every now and then, because I kind of forgot. So, we're gonna start by actually adding the collection to Vortex. And then, please, first of all, read instructions, okay? There's a lot of text in here for a reason. I know it's hard to read. I know it's hard to read. I know it's a lot. It's putting you to sleep. Trust me, I know I wrote this. Okay? And then, the reason I'm saying you gotta read is because there's a lot of information of which you need to be aware, okay? For example, okay, you need to be aware that there is a resource page, and here you will find your item belt or output for revision 6+. Download this up until the point you are advised to, well, you know, update it, as in I will be updating it and you will be downloading my output. I recommend not changing the collection, just in case so, because this output is heavily reliant on what you have installed. So if I have a different install from you, you're in trouble. I'm just saying. Then you will have to generate the output. There's a whole guide on how to generate the output for item belt. I have it pinned in the help channel. Please check it out if you want to do that for yourself. Otherwise, please follow the install guide. You need to be aware there is a Fluffy Mod Manager preset to auto-enable your mods. There is a TOTF custom script changes archive, and then there's a reshade if you want to install that. So, I'm not going to talk about the reshade this video. This video is strictly install, and I will show you how to update at the end. So, after you've made sure to add the collection to Vortex, and it's installed, don't mind my mod count. I have 202 because I technically have 3 collections. I have the test branch, I have the revision 8, and then I have an also, you'll see in a minute. Because every time I make a collection in Vortex, Vortex has a weird way of doing it, as in it kind of creates a big folder mod where every mod is being put in, okay? So, next revision also counts as a mod, current revision also counts as a mod, and then the test branch also counts as a mod for me. As you can see right here, I have revision 8 and then revision 9. There's also my, where's the test branch? Okay, there's the test branch. So don't mind these, some of these will be missing for you. Maybe. I don't think y'all should be seeing the test branch unless you actually have the test branch installed. Otherwise, you will have, I assume, 202 mods. Because revision 8 and revision 9... actually, you should be having 200. I think I'm the only one who's supposed to have the... this thing right here, where it says 9. Okay? You shouldn't be worrying about that. You should be worrying about having 201 mods for revision 8. Okay? So, again, please read, because folder structure and all that is being mentioned here as well. Also, there's a known bugs section. You need to be aware we have this section, okay? Because this section is for troubleshooting. For figuring it out. You got some issues, this is the first place to be looking at, okay? This right here is the first place to be looking at. Alright, now, since I've enabled my mods, this is what you'll be seeing after you have finished installing the collection, okay? This is the point where... Oh yeah, item belts is not inside the collection, I believe. Have I added the item belt thingy? I think I forgot. So you'll have to excuse me for this one. The item belt output. This one is a manual install. Well, not really. It's automated. But you will download this with the mod manager. Okay. I guess it's a good thing I don't have it installed as well. I kind of just generated it manually and then, you know. Alright, come on. Come on. I know it's saying it's incomplete. I'm gonna figure out why in a little bit. Unsure why it's saying Tales of the Forgotten is incomplete. Let me resume to figuring out why it's saying it's incomplete. Sometimes Vortex does a weird thing where it says collection is incomplete if you have like a version mismatch or something. I didn't fully wipe for this, so maybe that's why. It should be fine. You shouldn't be worrying about that. If, however, you do have that, just know that you will have to full wipe the collection to fix it. Because currently I have no idea why it's saying that. But as you can see, it's saying that it's installing the collection, but nothing's being done, okay? In real time. So, unsure what Vortex is spasming out about, but let me just close that. This should be the correct install. Okay, so you should be having, it's 199 mods, and then you'll have a +1 because the item belt thing, I might have forgotten to add it. My bad. Let me just make sure I add it for at least next revision. My bad. So again, item belt output, download, install. You need this. You want it. It's not auto-enabled by Fluffy because I actually, no, it shouldn't be auto-enabled because I forgot about it. So you'll have to excuse me this time. This has been a lot of work. Okay. Now, after you've installed the collection and downloaded item belt, please make sure you download Fluffy Mod Manager preset. Okay. You get this, allow download. There's no virus here. Okay. You get this archive. Games folder, Dragon's Dogma 2, presets, DD2 Tales of the Forgotten or 8.prt. This is your Fluffy Mod Manager mod list preset, which you will have to just kind of, you know. Let me find my folder. I accidentally opened another one. Just put it in here, okay? This is the folder. Replace if asked. You shouldn't be asked because you shouldn't be having this yet. If this is your first install. Okay. So, before, you know, enabling your mods in Fluffy, this is basically your game folder, alright? Now, first of all, make sure Fluffy Mod Manager shows up in here. If it doesn't, you have a problem. This problem is Fluffy Mod Manager not being properly deployed in your main Dragon's Dogma 2 folder, okay? Make sure this right here, you see this? So, let me show you again. You double click, and then you will get this right here, okay? Now, here it says mod type, Fluffy Mod Manager, right there, deploys to the Steam library, Steam apps, common Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, make sure this is deploying exactly where your game's main folder is being located, okay? So that is right here. If this doesn't show here, you have a problem. And I've helped at least one person figure this out, but it's annoying. First of all, right here is your Fluffy Mod Manager tool in Vortex dashboard, okay? Right here, up here. Fluffy Mod Manager in Tools section. If it doesn't show up, you will need to manually add it. Okay? New. And then, this is how it should be showing up. Okay? It should be targeting your thing, which should be deployed inside Vortex. If it's not deployed inside Vortex, or inside your main game directory, please let me know, contact me. I will attempt to help you through live troubleshooting in the voice channel. We'll figure it out somehow. I know I've had at least one person not have the Fluffy Mod Manager being correctly deployed, which was quite literally the sole reason as to why the collection was not working for them. Unsure why that was happening. It might have been because Vortex was outdated. So first of all, please make sure your Vortex is up to date, or at least version 1.15.2 as of today. I don't recall if this is the latest version, but this is the one I'm on, and it's fine. Still, for now. But yeah, most of these issues regarding deployment and such are either Vortex itself, or... and this is still part of the install guide, because you might have this Fluffy Mod Manager deployment issue, and you need this to proceed. If you click on extensions, there is a Dragon's Dogma 2 Vortex extension. You want to remove this and reinstall it, okay? You should be fine after that. Emphasis on the should. Again, if you still can't get it running, let me know. I will attempt to help you, and we shall figure it out. Now, after you've made sure everything is okay and Fluffy shows in here, again, Fluffy Mod Manager is mandatory. You cannot skip this step. You boot up Fluffy. First of all, you don't boot Fluffy yet. My bad. Deploy mods. Okay, we will deploy mods. What this does is it links the mods from Vortex with your Fluffy Mod Manager install, and then the mods themselves will be showing up inside Fluffy Mod Manager. Again, you cannot skip these steps because Fluffy Mod Manager is required. It's a hard requirement for the mods to properly function. Okay? And then you boot up Fluffy Mod Manager. Now, sometimes this stupid thing boots up like this, and you're like, wait, why is it not booting up? It's because it's like this, and you gotta pull it out. Unsure why it does that. Just a weird thing it does. Now, the first thing you're gonna notice is that nothing is enabled, first of all. You will be clicking on well, first of all, the first time you install Fluffy, I believe, it's gonna look for your game. So it's gonna ask you to, set up the game. So point it towards your Dragon's Dogma 2 install, and please, until advised, do not, where you at? Don't update RE framework. We are using nightly version 01191, if I recall. 01191. Yes, this is from GitHub. Okay, you won't be finding this on Nexus anytime soon, I believe. So this is directly from GitHub. Okay. Where you at? Oh, I was clicking the wrong thing. Okay. So, Vortex, what are you doing? Unless this randomly got... Huh. Pause. Let me show you the link. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is directly from GitHub, okay? directly from Praydog, RE Framework nightly releases, okay? I don't think this got updated. I haven't checked in a minute, but I think this is still the current latest version. Now, this, if you click on download here, it might mess up your install because it's installing an earlier version. And some of the scripts I've made with help are being, you know, they were made for RE Framework Nightly 01191. So make sure you don't click this, okay? Now, after you made sure, you know, you've installed Fluffy Mod Manager correctly, and it's set up towards the game's pathing, and you make sure this shows up in mod presets. Again, this is from the archive, and you should have it in your main game folder, Games, Dragon's Dogma 2, Presets, right here. If you don't, download the archive, this folder, copy it, right here. Okay? Right here, in the main directory of the game. Also, don't be inside Fluffy when you do that, because it's not gonna show up, you will need to reboot. Also, do not deploy mods in Vortex with Fluffy Mod Manager turned on. It's not gonna work. You will need to exit Fluffy. So, what you're gonna do here is you're gonna click on this. Now, what you will notice is that this takes a fuckload of time, okay? It's quite literally gonna freeze here for a little bit. Nothing to be worried about. It does this because texture patch or skin, either one of these two, I forgot which one, is kinda heavy for some reason. It takes a while for Fluffy to deploy that correctly. Some inexplicable reason, that one mod is just kinda heavy. It's heavier than the rest for some reason. It's like, I don't know. It's like that one thing is like 20 gigs or something, even though the entire collection is 11. Anyway, you're gonna wait here with me, because we are doing this in real time. I'm not gonna speed it up or anything, just so you know how much it takes me to do this on an i7 CPU. Okay, i7 13700F, 4.6 almost gigahertz right now. This takes a minute, fellas. It is what it is. I can't. There's no fixing this. There's no making it faster. You're just gonna have to be patient. I know this guy takes a while, but I mean, you will have to do this in real time. But this is exactly what you will be doing as well. I'm gonna walk you up into the game, I believe. Up to the point where you can just kind of play. Alright? And then just mess around in RE Framework UI with stuff. If you are wondering about keybinds and such, first of all, I kind of suggest you use controller, but if you want to use mouse and keyboard, I mean, the keybinds are a little weird, at least in my opinion. So you're gonna have to set it up for yourself a little bit. That can be done in RE Framework by pressing Insert button on your keyboard. And you will be looking at Script Generated UI, which should be the last tab in just all the way down inside of RE Framework. And then the first thing you want to look at is Skill Manager, but we'll get to that. I just kind of needed something to talk about while this thing just kind of loads. It's taking a minute. And the reason I'm waiting here is so you guys know that it is in fact taking a minute, and this doesn't just randomly freeze your PC. It is so what this is doing right now, it's literally putting well, not putting, it's basically unpacking the mods, okay? This is what it's doing right now. It's putting the stuff from inside the archives. Excuse me, my throat just randomly died. It's putting the stuff from inside the archives in your RE framework folder, and everywhere else. You will have a lot of folders in your main game directory, and I assume this is the main problem people have when installing the collection. And I know, I get it. It took me a while too. Okay? We'll figure it out together. I will show you, I will walk you through it. It's a little bit of a pain because some mod authors don't know how to properly pack their mods. Their folder structure is all over the place. Also, some people don't understand that when you create a folder, you should be naming that folder or a framework. Then you pack it. You create the archive with that folder which contains your mod. This is a lesson for you guys, which are modders, mod creators, mod authors. When you create a mod, set it up correctly for RE framework. Name that folder RE framework. Archive it, zip it, do whatever, 7-zip, I don't care. Archive it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna rename the archive. That way, when it's being automated through Vortex, it maintains the correct install pathing of the folders, okay? Otherwise, if you name that folder, for example, I will be showing you guys right now. First of all, when you enter here, make sure this should be disabled. Dark Souls Bonfire doesn't seem to work right now, anyway. Item belt R6 output, enable. Okay? And then don't mind these hairstyles. This is how it is supposed to be. Okay? No job requirements. Make sure nothing else is enabled here except armors only. The weapons cause issues. Specifically, you won't be able to use archer like at all. Random encounters, only turn this on if you wanna play, cheaty, as in with skill maker vocations from the start, and with content editor items, as in you will be spawning yourself some cute good old stuff that is OP and not really meant to be played with from the start of the game. Reaper Sight is a Lindworm Fang replacer, that is a weapon. This is for Transmogify. This is disabled by default because we also have Wukong Bailong, which is also a Lindworm Fang replacer. As you can see right here, replaced Lindworm Fang with Stormflash Lung Staff. Just be aware that you can't have both. You need to pick. And I might have accidentally already picked one for you, but I don't remember. My bad. I don't remember. I honestly do not remember. Anyway, if you don't like your current Lindworm Fang, there's Wukong Bailong and Reaper Scythe, which do in fact replace Lindworm Fang. So you can load either one of those. Just know that if you enable both, the one which has been enabled last, I assume, is Wukong Bailong, due to Fluffy Mod Manager. What you're seeing here is exactly the order in which Fluffy Mod Manager will be loading your mods in-game, okay? Unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to, change this automated, if you know what I mean. You can change it if you want, but it's gonna take a lot of folder structure work. You're gonna have to be renaming all of these. Anyway, not the point. Wukong Bailong will literally overwrite any other because this is last in the load order, okay? Just so you know. Now, after you've enabled the item belt resource, where you at? You can press letters. If you know the initial letter, it will literally jump there to the letter. So just make sure item belt R6 output is enabled. This is necessary. It is needed. Okay? You need this. Otherwise, you gotta generate it yourself. What this does is it gives you like an item belt, and you kinda... if you don't want to use it at all, just disable item belt. It's easier. Yeah, so after you've installed everything, and you made sure no job requirements only has the armor thing, the armor module. Let me go back. So no job requirements, should only have armors only, REF. You will go to C, as in content editor. Okay. You will click on this. You're gonna make absolutely sure quest editor is turned off. If you don't turn this off, this is the problem you will have. Your audio at the start of the game will probably cut out randomly. And NPCs will kind of just skip talking to you. For some reason. I don't know. It is what it is. Just disable it. This will fix all of that. Now, I don't think there's anything else you should be worrying about. Just a reason NPC outfits, make sure they're both on. Armor pack, everything is on. Berserker armor, everything is on. Better muscle normals, everything is on. There's one with the hairs. Alternative hairstyles. Don't change this, is what I recommend. Unless you know what you're doing. You can find what hairs shouldn't be replaced on Discord. I believe in the changelog channel. I also think I've put a changelog at some point with that. And this is it for Fluffy. Just make sure everything is enabled as shown in this video so far. Melodies of Grancis and Melodies of Grancis Extra. These are replacing your soundtracks. So if you don't like them, hop in here, disable. Make sure you don't enable randomly. There's also one on, oh yeah, Sigismund armor, enabled. Oblivion something. Let me figure it out. This one is enabled as well, everything. In weapon pack. Let me see if I can figure out. It's Oblivion Souls, okay. There's also Pale Blush. There's only the 30% one, but if you don't like it, just disable it entirely. Okay, back to O. Oblivion Souls. This is also a soundtrack replacer. They are pre-selected. This is how it should look. Again, just know that as you can see up there, there in the corner, in the good old corner, left corner, it's telling you what is replacing, okay? Selected mod would override files from this installed mod. Common Boss 1, Golem. Just so you know, don't enable everything. They're gonna override each other. They're not compatible with each other that way. This is why I installed the modular packs. So you can pick and choose. If you don't like the songs, I mean, disable. I kind of put them in because I kind of like them. There's a weird error, bug, whatever you want to call it, with enhanced arrest and gaol system. We believe currently that this one is spawning you randomly in the middle of the sea, ocean, whatever that is. It's spawning you in water after you die sometimes. I think it's this mod. We're not sure, and when I say we, it's me and another fella, which I believe was going by the name of Null in the Discord. Let me check. Yes. If you want to help with this, please. Troubleshooting is a pain. Alright, What else is causing issues is I think it's Mystic Monk or Elemental Monk. I forgot which one. Some of these, you'll be having a bunch of Lua errors, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. Just letting you know. They might cause issues. Now, after you've enabled everything in here, as shown so far, your main game directory is gonna be bloated AF, okay? Now this is where pain starts. So, first of all, let's get the character manager out of the way, because this one's easy, okay? Ideally, open up RE framework in a new tab. Okay, you're gonna go to data, and let me close this one. Okay, now, character manager, you're gonna move this entire folder in here inside the data folder. Paste it here, okay? It's gonna override in here and you're gonna have everything. I don't remember which one that is. I think it's Vera. Or Emma or something. Maybe wait, no. It's the Dante, the Kratos, cute human. It's one of the new mods I added, which added like 4 new presets if I recall. Yeah. Okay, back to main folder. So again, strictly character manager right now. You're gonna look for JSON files. Starting with erandir.json. Okay. Now I'm expecting you guys know how to show your extension. But if not, I believe... Let me see if I can remember how to show you guys how to view folder extension. It's been a minute. First of all, show hidden files, folders, and drives is really kind of just a recommended thing. Also display the full path in the title bar so you see everything, you know. Should be in here somewhere. I don't recall. I'm sorry. Just starting with Erandir and all the way to Vera, make sure you single out Spellsword. Okay. Everything but Spellsword, and make sure you do not move the Vortex deployment Dragon's Dogma 2 thingies. You need those there. Everything except Spellsword, Vortex related files, all these other JSONs. Let me just make sure so I don't randomly make a mistake here. Yes, all these others, they will be moved inside the character manager folder you opened to paste your other character manager thing. Or you could have just, you know, paste it inside that folder and just copied them, but you know, I'm showing you the other way. Okay, so this is how your folder should be looking. This is your character manager folder in data or eFramework. After you've done the necessary copy pasting and moving. Now, let's start with skills. First of all, there's skills and skill sets. And I'm gonna be doing this the old-fashioned way because I believe it to be easier. Yeah, I'm getting a call. My wifey. And we're back. So. Skill sets and skills. This one's a little annoying because you'll see. So skills and skill sets, these go inside RE framework data skill maker. Okay? Move them here. As you can see, they're right here. keep this folder open. There's Arthur. You can just copy this. There's fast respawn bosses. You can just copy it inside here. Or move, rather. So Arthur, that RE framework from Arthur, you can move it inside fast respawn bosses or vice versa. And then you're gonna grab it. You're gonna move it right here in your main directory. And it shouldn't ask to override, but if it does override, that means you've already done this at some point in time. Now, we have Great Sword Max. Another RE framework folder. I'm doing the easy stuff first, okay? You're gonna move it there. It's gonna ask you to replace. Please replace. It's replacing some Dullahan stuff, if I recall. Arthur or fast respawn bosses and great swords, you can just delete them. Then there's Guts Berserk Skillmaker skill set. Another RE framework folder. Paste it inside. Can delete that folder as well. Don't touch the manifest folder, by the way. I don't recall what exactly is being added by. Might be, I don't know, bestiary or something. I don't recall. Anyway, you have Spellblade skills. Also, there's a temp download. Unsure. There's a Spellblade skills. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull up my help channel because I forgot where this goes. So, the skills from inside here, they go inside RE Framework Data Skill Maker skills right here. Yes, right here. Not the folder, the skills themselves, okay? Not the folder. The folder, if you do the silly thing, which I did when I first installed this, and you move the folder there thinking it would work, it will not. It's not gonna register the skills when you add the skill set, which we will be doing right now. Now, remember there's a spellsword.json? Look for it. Right here. This is the skill sets. Now, what you want to do with this is move it back to Skill Maker. Okay? Inside skill sets. Right here. So, RE Framework, Data, Skill Maker, skill sets. Okay. Now, I believe there shouldn't be anything else in here. You have these. What this does is it assigns a higher process priority for your CPU to the game. Just use the recommended one. High is usually what most people recommend for most games when it comes to elevating process priority. Don't go real time. My opinion, anyway. I believe this should be it, okay? Oh yeah, I forgot something about Fluffy Mod Manager. If you have a problem with Steam VR, just, you know, your game kind of just booting inside of Steam VR, inside the Fluffy Mod Manager options, where are you at? Advanced options, install VR DLLs. I believe this is default off, but some people have had issues with this. Just check if this is on. Okay? And if this is on, turn it off, and what you want to do is you want to reinstall RE Framework. Okay? Because RE Framework, I'll show you right now. Actually, I can show you here directly. There's an OpenVR API DLL, OpenXR Loader DLL. These are RE Framework related, okay? If you want to check inside the archive for RE Framework, you will see... Okay? And then in here, there's a lot of VR related stuff. Okay? Now, you can keep them like so. And when you make sure this thing is off, they won't be installed. Otherwise, manually remove ? But just do the thing I mentioned previously. Just turn this off and reinstall or eFramework from Vortex. Also make sure you're outside of Fluffy Mod Manager. So X, close it. Because our eFramework will need to be redeployed. Now, you can do all of that what I just did while inside Fluffy. It will not matter, okay? Let's see now. Do I need to address anything else inside the main directory? Give me a second, because there's a lot of stuff that I have to just address in this single video. I believe that's it. Yes, I believe that's it. That should be it for Fluffy Mod Manager, for the Vortex installation, and for setting up correct folder structure for your mods. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna boot up the game for the first time. I'm joking, you're not. I remembered what you gotta do. So, my bad. So you're gonna, inside your game folder, inside of our eFramework folder, if I let you boot up the game now, you're gonna crash. So, again, Dragon's Dogma 2 or eFramework, auto run folder, you're gonna press T. You're gonna press T again. There's Transmogify Lua. You're gonna remove this. Okay, that is the original Transmogify Lua prior to my fixing it for the collection specifically. Which is this little Lua right here, which has proven to work so far. And then you're gonna look for Mesh Mod Enabler. Again, this is the original file from the original mod. You will remove this because you have the Mesh Mod Enabler TOTF fix.lua. You will have to remove these every time you enable, every time you have Transmogify and Mesh Mod Enabler disabled, and you will be enabling them. Every time that happens, you will have the folders, the files in the autorun folder just kind of be copied back, okay? You will need to remove them, otherwise you will get the crash. And you will crash, okay? Because they're basically kind of the same mods, but then they kind of conflict with mine. So, after you've removed those two, let me check something real quick. Okay, I'm checking something because I used to have something and then I removed it and I kind of forgot. All right. Launch game. Now, when you launch the game, your game's gonna start yelling Lua errors. Don't freak out. It's normal for some reason. I think it has to do with the priority in which Fluffy Mod Manager loads the mods inside your game. So I can't really fix that for now. If there's a way to, set up an automated load order for Fluffy Mod Manager and I haven't heard about, let me know, but I have tried literally everything I found on Google. I don't know how to adjust them without renaming the folders. Unfortunately, I don't know how to, automate renaming your folders. So it is what it is. Actually, I could maybe create a bat file, but I don't want to do that. That's disgusting. It is a lot of work. A lot of work. I don't want to do that. That's too much work. I'm not getting paid here. Alright, so more fake items throws a script runner message. Sole runtime error. You don't care about that. Click OK. Long video, huh? Yup. I didn't want to do it either. So, another script runner message. Lua error for safer roads. Click OK. You don't really care about that. There's transmogify TOTF fix.lua error, which is kind of famous right now. You don't care about that. I haven't found a way to fix it. Again, nothing seems broken. Everything seems to function, so I don't know. Click OK. It seems to work. You'll get this message from IMGUI. Unsure what's causing it. Some scripts probably. It started after adding auto loot body, I think. Also a bunch of others. We have a bunch of scripts in script generated UI, and some of them have UI issues. It is what it is. But they work. So nothing to worry about. Now, all you really gotta worry about is getting yourself into the game. Now, if I let you run the game first, without removing without removing transmogify.lua and meshmodenabler.lua, the original files, you would have crashed. Now, because you removed them, you actually got inside the game. Now, what you're gonna wanna do... First of all, these are all the scripts we got. We're gonna worry about that in a little bit. Script runner. You're gonna reset scripts, okay? The first time you boot the game. Don't judge, don't mind the balanced augment Lua error. It's gonna go away in a little bit. This is why we are resetting scripts, to make sure the scripts are functional. And they are. They will be. After the reset, anyway. This is where your game's gonna freeze up for a little minute. Probably more, depending on your CPU and or possibly RAM. And or possibly SSD speed. Now, I recommend just, you know, closing the script runner tab, and then you're gonna go to loose file loader. Now, this is a thing a lot of people get wrong. This is why you read. So, you're gonna want to have this enable loose file loader ticked. It's gonna start counting the files. As you can see, there are a bunch. Now, you don't want to let this run for like half an hour, 2, a day, 3. It's probably gonna run for quite a while if you let it run. This is gonna run every time you boot up the game, and it's gonna run while you're playing the game. It is what it is. You kind of just need it. I recall Mesh Mod Enabler needing it, and maybe some others. I don't recall exactly. But you want to have this enabled when you first boot up the game, after installing the collection. Now, after you've enabled that, you let it run for like a minute or 2. Now, I'm not gonna do that because it's already been enabled for me for quite some time, so I don't have to do that. But, again, you let it run for maybe like a minute, maybe 2, depending on how fast your, again, CPU, RAM, and SSD is, possibly. Unsure. But what you're gonna wanna do after that is reboot your game. Okay? Now, after you're gonna reboot your game, you will be getting the script Lua errors again. That's probably gonna happen almost every time you're gonna boot up the game. Just get used to it. It is what it is. I don't know how to fix it. I do not know how to fix it. Well, I know how to fix it. Remove the mods. But we want the mods, so I don't know how to fix it. You know what I mean? Now, everything should be fine. If you remove Durnevir, because it's been causing some weird issues, but it just got updated, so here's hoping everything's fine. If you get random AF boss spawns, and they just kind of disappear, and they just kind of spawn 2 at the same time on top of you, I believe that was being caused by Durnevir. Unsure about the new version, but nowadays, you can just disable Durnevir inside of Fluffy Mod Manager, and you should be fine. But just do it while outside the game, and you will need a new save because you might crash. Same goes for anything else which adds a lot of content to the game. That means items in shops, a lot of NPC spawns. If the mod gets removed, you will have to start a new save. Okay? Same for random encounters. If you wanna add that and then remove it later, you will have to quite literally do a new game. So I'm gonna do just that because they recently got updated, and I think Bestiary got updated again within like 4 hours of me updating the collection. So it is what it is. I had to go to sleep. Now, my recommendation is you go on normal. Again, when you download the scripts, I kind of recommend you do this prior to actually getting inside the game, but you're gonna want to look for custom difficulty tweaks. Now, some of you might not want my custom tweaks, then I guess keep the easy Capcom default, or maybe go to normal. If you want to use my preset, however, it's inside preset save load, POTF v3. Click on it so it shows up in the backup name thing. Load backup, and it's gonna show up as custom. Now, as long as this shows custom, that means you have a custom preset enabled, and that means the preset should be applied correctly. This is gonna make your game just a little bit harder. Not by much though, but it will be a little bit harder than default. The economy, however... yeah. What you also want to do is enhanced arrest and gale system. Untick invincible player. This is on by default for some goddamn inexplicable reason. Untick that. Okay? So you're not invincible, otherwise you will literally not die. It's like having God mode on. Now, make sure inside the Nick DevTools, after you load up the save, and I'll show you in a minute, by the way, where is Skill Maker? Skill Maker, right here. Okay. This should be off by default, if however you want to use it. I know some people using it on keyboard, the collection I mean, have been wondering what the frick is going on. Because your sheet buttons are changed. It's here. L1 plus L2 to sheet unsheet, I believe. And then L1 or L2 to switch weapon skill. L1 to spell cancel. Just untick these if you don't want to use Skill Maker. If you want to use Skill Maker, I apologize for the random lighting, it is what it is. If you want to use Skill Maker, keep these on. Modifier inhibits buttons, turn this on, like this. Display in-game GUI. And then, ideally, gamepad buttons default. But if you want to play on keyboard, I mean, you're kind of on your own there. I usually play on a controller. But I'm gonna turn this off, because I don't want to use Skill Maker right now. However... give me a second to figure out where the skill sets are. There we go. If you want to load a certain skill set, you'll have to, you know, select them from here, like Spell Sword, for example. If you do this without putting the skills in the skills folder, and you place the entirety of the Spell Sword, whatever name it had, the folder, if you place the entirety of the folder in there and you load, it's not gonna load here. Otherwise, I'm gonna turn off my camera now, because, yeah. Not important anymore. Give me a sec. Alright, so after doing this... you don't really need this, by the way. In case... this was just a showcase to show you that Spell Sword only functions correctly if you do what I did. You can close this. The default button for RE Framework is Insert on your keyboard. Now, we're gonna go inside the game. Again, make sure loose file loader has this ticked on. Make sure it's enabled. Every time you boot up the game, just make sure this stays on. Now we're gonna go inside the game. And I'm gonna bring my controller for this. I just kind of like my controller most of the time inside this game. It just feels better to me. Now I'm gonna skip this and just... You know you've installed everything correctly, kinda, and nothing's wrong if you can get here. If you can get to creating your character, everything should be fine. By the way, this right here, you might be wondering what this is. The widget thingy here is controlled by clock, I believe, right here. And then the default button is set to alpha 0, as in 0 on your keyboard. You might notice the message from Dear IMGY. Ignore that. It won't cause you any issues. It's just... Sometimes some of these mods will not allow RE Framework GUI to populate further below, and it just gets you this weird red error. It is what it is. If you get some error saying auto loot body is overriding clock or something, it's just the fonts, don't mind. You don't really care about that. Again, if you don't want this, you can disable, but there's a hotkey here and it's set to 0, not numpad 0. It's set to 0, the keys from above QWERTY, okay? If you're on a QWERTY keyboard, that is. You know where backspace is? Right below the F keys. That's the 0 you want. Okay? That's the hotkey, okay? You just press that. If you want it off, that is. Now, we also have simple time scaler. If you want to reset this to default time, or if you want to mess with it, be my guest. I recommend not going below 0.25, however. This already has made, I believe, 6 hours in-game be 48 minutes in real time. By default, it's 6 hours in-game, 12 minutes real time. I kind of wanted, you know, to be more realistic-ish. I can and kind of feel the time in-game. The seconds have been turned off for clock because they're not being displayed correctly, which is why you're only seeing hour and minute, because it's showing you what it's showing, I believe, 2 seconds if I recall, and then it kind of just jumps a full minute. So that's why seconds are not being displayed. Now, when you create the character,
aha, I thought I recognized you.
If you want to use character manager, I'm gonna just do this because it's faster. You're gonna want to enter detailed customization. Okay, you enter here, open up RE Framework UI, and then character manager. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick my modified Dante, for example. Where you at? Oh, I forgot to install it. Oh well. If you want that modified Dante body, you can find it in character presets on Discord. I might have forgotten to add it to my install right now. However, I'll just, you know, select one of these and then load. Just make sure you're inside detailed customization, okay? And load. It's gonna be weird while it loads, but I can't do anything about that. There's your character. Now, I think it's time for me to actually just kind of go outside the game. I don't really care for this, so I'm just gonna Alt F4. Now, when you update the collection, excuse me, my throat dying. When you update the collection, what you want to do first is you want to disable this, okay? Again, we are currently talking strictly updating the collection from this point further. I believe I've covered everything when it comes to the actual install itself and how to get in game. Now, if you have followed everything so far, everything should be working just fine. If there's still something that needs to be addressed, let me know on Discord. There's a help channel specifically for this. So, also read the pinned messages and make sure you go on the known bugs section right here. This will most of the time address your issues. Most of the time. Again, when you are updating the collection, disable this. Make sure every mod is disabled in here. You can quit out of Fluffy after that. Disable your mods. All of them. Okay. Now after you've made sure everything is disabled, you will come to your main game folder. Now because you've had all those stragglers, they cannot be properly disabled by Fluffy Mod Manager because Fluffy doesn't know the correct folder structure, since the folder structure was incorrect in the first place, okay? This is why I said you wanna archive the RE framework folder as a mod creator, so you will create a separate RE framework folder with the correct folder structure for your mod, and then you wanna rename that archive to your mod's name. For example, I don't know, Second Wind. You know what I mean. And then you upload that one onto Nexus. That way, when it's installed automatically through a mod manager, it has correct folder structure, folder pathing. Otherwise, it's gonna be like this. And it's gonna show up like this, okay? Because you've made one extra folder unnecessarily. Alright? We're gonna delete this. That's so silly. 2025 and people still don't understand folder structures. I mean, it's kind of sad, bro. It's making things so much more difficult in the modding communities of every single game. Especially games like Dragon's Dogma 2, Cyberpunk, and whatever. Alright, I'm gonna stop with the rant. It's just pissing me off sometimes, because folder structure matters quite a lot. Okay, back to updating. So, after you've disabled everything, in here, in Fluffy, you will delete RE framework folder. Again, this is strictly when updating the collection from this point forward, okay? Now, after you've disabled these, disable the mods in Fluffy, and deleted RE framework folder, what you want to do is make a new profile, okay? Add the profile, I don't know, name it TOTF Revision 7, whatever. You'll be asked to make a new profile when you install, by the way. Where are you at? Okay. Add the collection. Continue. I'm not being asked because I already have it added. Dilemma. Alright, it's fine. Just make a new profile when you're being asked when you're installing the collection. I'm gonna remove this because I have to now. Yeah. Just make a new profile and install it on that. And then you should deploy mods and then you will restart this guide basically. Okay? That's how you update the collection. That's also how you install the collection. I really do hope I have addressed everything in this one video. I believe I have. But again, if you have any sort of issues, you will have these. You don't care about this. Customizable loss gauge and no sprinting. Do we have this installed still? I could have sworn I removed them. You can disable this safely, both of them. I will be removing them from the collection. There is no point in having these any further. That is true. They are redundant indeed. I just kind of forgot to remove them. So, this is pretty much all there is to installing and updating. Again, if you somehow still haven't been able to figure it out, or you have some issues, let me know, and we'll figure it out in the help channel. But you will still have to do some reading, okay? I'll see you in the next video. This was long.